Samkele, I've been looking at what's been said on Twitter, the scene of the crash being gruesome, and that is what we see there behind you.
Yes, indeed, Michelle. I'm just going to step out of shot just to show you the gruesome picture of this Toyota Corolla, which the CEO of African Global Operations, formerly known as Bosasa, was traveling in. We're going to be walking across the vehicle with my colleague Lebu, as we're going to go across to Papa Lishabani, who's the former spokesperson of African Global Operations, Bosasa, who are entangled in allegations of state capture and corruption. You saw those visuals of Angelo Agrizzi in the vault where Gavin Watson was dishing out millions and thousands of rands to ANC politicians, and also installing security upgrades in homes such as Vincent Smith, and having the likes of also Gwede Mantashe, the national chairperson of the African National Congress, allegedly having been installed security upgrades in his home. As you can see, Papa Lishabani, whom we're trying to walk towards to, is actually running away. He's already on the scene. There he is. He had agreed earlier on to speak to us, but he's seeming now changing his mind. But when we engaged with him, he did say that he was engaging with the family and waiting for confirmation on what may have happened to Gavin Watson from the mortuary's side.
Now, Samkele, what we're seeing on social media might be different to what you can see on the scene there. We're told it happened on that fork towards the drop-off zone of the airport. What can you tell us from where you see the accident actually happened?
Yes, indeed, it happened on a corner going towards the drop-off zone here at OR Tambo Airport. I'm just going to show you some visuals of the parts of the wheel that came out of the vehicle. You can see one of the springs there going onto the wheel of the car, and the wheel cap of the wheel of the front wheel where Gavin Watson was on the driver's side of the car, the Toyota Corolla, where Gavin Watson was traveling towards the airport. It's not yet clear where Gavin Watson was traveling to, but it is indeed a gruesome accident scene where the vehicle seemingly veered off the road, hit on the side of the ramp, and came back and rolled towards the side of the vehicle, where it is badly damaged towards the driver's side.
Samkele, just after 5 o'clock this morning, that's the time frame we have for when that accident happened. Are police saying anything about whether they have eyewitnesses?
At this point in time, we've not yet been able to speak to an authority within the South African Police Service, or EMPD, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. They are waiting for one of the spokespeople to come through and speak to us and give us the finer details of what actually happened here at the accident scene that may have cost Gavin Watson his life, where we are also waiting for confirmation from Papa Lishabani on what's his status. But he did say that the body was sent to the mortuary. The accident did happen at about 5:05 earlier on this morning, when the news first came out that the Bosasa Chief Executive Officer Gavin Watson has been involved in a car accident. But I'm just going to show you some of the visuals here of EMPD and SAPS taking some of the parts of the vehicle and putting it inside the car as the vehicle is about to be towed away.
And we do apologize to our viewers for the quality at times of our live shot there at the airport, at OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. My colleague Samkele Maseko giving us all the latest there from the scene. Samkele, you must have been shocked as well when you saw just the state of that car. If you just want to give our viewers who perhaps are just tuning in for the first time a view of what that wreck looks like.
Yes, indeed. We are giving you those shots as we speak now, Michelle, of the engine of this Toyota Corolla. You can see how it was smashed towards in. You can't even see the radiator of the vehicle here. You can see the various oil spillages of the vehicle. You can see the passenger, the driver's door, which has also been pretty much damaged and put into non-existence. You can come here this side onto where the wheel the wheel is supposed to be on the driver's side in front. It's non-existent. You've got the engine of the car basically pretty much been damaged and non-existent. You can just see the wreckage of this particular vehicle which Gavin Watson was traveling in, Michelle. And you can also see sand as well on when the
Yeah, continue.
Sorry, Michelle, you can also see sand as well, where the car had just veered off the road and came back with sand from the bank where it veered off and hit the barricade of the road.
And Samkele, as far as we know, as far as the information that we've been able to gather, Gavin Watson would have been the only person in that vehicle.
Yes, at this point in time, Gavin Watson would have been the only person on the vehicle. It is said to be a vehicle belonging to the company African Global Operations, which he was chief executive of, which was formerly known as Bosasa. Hence, you can see the likes of Papa Leshabani here arriving on the scene to see the wreckage of the vehicle. We also know that Gavin Watson was one of the key people implicated in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry by Angelo Agrizzi. And you'd know that African Global Operations was previously voluntarily liquidated by its board, and later they went to court to reverse that particular decision, to have the executives of Bosasa having total reign or control of the company once again. But at this point in time, we can say that it looked like Gavin Watson was alone in the vehicle, and it was going towards the airport. We're not yet sure of his particular destination. Yeah. What we do know is that the body has been taken and sent to the mortuary.
Yeah, and we know that his family are on their way. The last we heard, his family was on their way to identify the body at the mortuary. Samkele, before we let you go, you know, there's so much shock around the story still, not least because I suppose in many ways we'd still been looking for closure around all of the testimony unfolding around corruption at the state capture inquiry, with Bosasa being so central to all of those massive allegations. And aside from that closed session where Gavin Watson was testifying at the SARS inquiry, there'll certainly be no testimony from him at the state capture inquiry.
Yes, indeed, there will be no more testimony from Gavin Watson, as South Africans may have been anticipated and waiting with anticipated breath to hear the side and story and view of Gavin Watson, particularly of his allegations of state capture, corruption, of having senior ANC politicians in his payroll at Bosasa's offices. So it's not going to happen anymore, but we will try and certainly get some answers from people like Papa Leshabani. I did get a call earlier on as we're driving here from one of the senior ANC leaders who was questioning whether it's really true that Gavin Watson is no more. And I said those are the rumors, and we're going to the accident scene. But he was saying that it's so unfortunate that this accident may have robbed South Africans of some critical answers on the nature of state capture and corruption that may have taken place at the behest of the hands of allegedly Gavin Watson through his company African Global Operations, formerly known as Bosasa. You'd know that people like Cedric Froelich had been implicated in payments. People like Dudumieni, the former board chairperson of South African Airways SAA and chairperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. People like Vincent Smith, who've also been in the payroll of Gavin Watson. Nomvula Mukonyane, the ANC's head of organizing at Luchuli House, former Minister of Water and Sanitation. Gwede Mantashe as well, who's been implicated in issues of Bosasa and security upgrades at his home. And non-importantly, that donation to the incumbent president of the Republic of South Africa, that 500,000 rands donation to the CR17 election campaign in 2017, and also the 3 million rands donation for the ANC's work in 2014 general elections. Also not forgetting the ANC warehouse that was set up at Bosasa offices to track the 2016 local government elections, and also the Watson family's history in the political nature and political culture of this country, particularly in the Eastern Cape, where they hail from in Port Elizabeth.
All right, well, thanks very much for that update. That's my colleague, Samkele Maseko. He's on the scene of that accident there where Bosasa head Gavin Watson was killed in a crash in the early hours of this morning.